Hey booktubers, Bumblesby here, and this is a response video to Tin Pan Alley 101, Jess. From a long time ago, I was looking here, April 20th, and I thought I would do this one. Sorry it took me so long, but I actually pulled the books out a while back, and I thought I gotta get this done. So this tag is, what are the 5 oldest books in your library? And Jess's response was kind of nostalgic in a way for her, and for me it's not, because I don't really have old books from my childhood, or even let's say even back into the 90s, 1990s that is, not quite that old, but anyway, these are books that I have collected about 2004, I think it was, 2003, 2004. I started collecting books in the library, in the bookshelves here, and I've got bookshelves out in other rooms. And I started with kind of the Eastern Press leather-bound editions, and then I got into some antique older books that you could get on eBay. Mostly I think I got a lot of these off of eBay. So I'll just go through. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, and then I have 2 other ones just because they don't have a date in them. So here is the 6th. The reason why I know how old these are is because I put the copyright date in my library thing, book cataloging. So I kind of just sorted by that. I have almost all my books in there. There's there's some that's not, but I have almost all my books in there. So that's kind of how I found them. I sorted it by the publishing date and was able to pull them off my shelves. So here is my, I guess it would be probably the 6th oldest book, and it's a little tiny book, as you can see. It's got some, I don't know, damage and things on the side to this, but this is The Vicar of Wakefield, and this is a small, a mass market paperback size. And this book, the only reason I know the age of this book, because there is not, it has most all books that are old have a frontispiece to them like that. And here is the publishing page, but there is not a date there. And this book does have illustrations in it, this tiny little book. But the only way I know is that someone wrote 1890 in pen up in the corner. So I'm going to make an assumption that that is either someone did some research on this, because it is in ink. A lot of times, like this one here, this is actually, it says, to Miss Annie from J. Atkins, so I'm going to guess that was when it was actually purchased and given to someone, and someone might have done some research and found out that this was circa 1890, Vicar of Wakefield. And okay, my going back in time, this one is in actually pretty good condition. It's called The Fair God by Lew Wallace, and it has a embossed emblem on there. It's an owl with looks like American Indian artifacts, with a bow and arrow type thing and a spear. I'm not sure, but you can kind of see that there. It's got black end papers, and this front part here is kind of coming off the first few pages, so I got to be really careful with it. But let's see if I can get to the publishing page. There it is. It says, "The Fair God, or the Last of the Zins, T''Tzins, Oh, here we go. A Tale of the Conquest of Mexico. So there we go. So this was 1889, and there is that, and the publishing date is right there. Let's see if this has any kind of doesn't look like it has any illustrations at all. But really, the book itself is in really pretty good condition for 1889. Yeah, so I think if there's nothing else exciting in that. The next one I have is The Pleasures of a Bookworm. I don't know if you can see that there. The Pleasures of a Bookworm, and this is kind of a smaller size book. Also, you can see the little worm there. That's embossed in the cover. I have read this book. I read it as an ebook, like someone had scanned it in on Project Gutenberg, and I read it as an ebook. And I decided, because I enjoyed it, I decided to go ahead and try to find a hardcover copy. And it's the second edition, Elliott stock, Paternoster Row, 62 Paternoster Row, 1886. And you can kind of see that there. And there is the date right there, 1886. Boy, they made those really small back then. So, yeah, but this book has the decal edge on it. You can see the decal edging. So, yeah, even back then they had the decal edge. And there are some, ornaments on it, that kind of thing. It's neat at the back of a lot of these older books. They'll have opinions or ads, and I always like that. So here, this is Opinions of the Press, since this is a second edition. These are how the press reviewed this book, and they stuck that in the back. A lot of times they'll stick it in the front of books now, or they're like on the paperback edition. Here's another one. This is Fire in the Woods. I really like the spine. The front and back are nothing to speak about, but of course the spine is what everyone sees when it's in a bookshelf. And this is all embossed on here. And this is, this one does have on the end papers, it looks like it has really interesting ads. So, yeah, ads. So, like Oliver Optics Magazine, Army and Navy Stories by Oliver Optics. Apparently it's Oliver Optics things. Must be who probably published this book. And it does have a frontispiece. You can see there. And let's see if we can find this one. Publishing page. It's got tissue in front of that thing. 1872 by Lee and Shepard Publishers. So there's Fire in the Woods, and at the bottom there is the date. And I don't know whether or not this has any illustrations. It does not appear to have any illustrations. No. So, there's that. Next one up is The Last Days of Pompeii by Bulwer, and this also has a nice spine. It has a slight embossing there. You can see it just looks like a globe is all. And you can't read there. There is somebody who wrote something in pen, and I can't quite read that, or in pencil on this dark brown end paper. I can't read what it says. Let's see if I can get to the. Here is the frontispiece. And I've actually, I think, got this book in a couple other editions besides this one. It does have some foxing. Foxing is those brown spots that you see on there. And generally that is from acidic paper. A lot of books today use non-acid paper, But this is J.B. Lippincott and Company, 1873. I might have had these books. I think that was 1872. Must have had these little messed up. But anyway, yeah, by Sir Edward Bulwer-Lytton. This is one of Bulwer-Lytton's most famous books. Edward Bulwer-Lytton is, I don't know what you want to say, kind of criticized, if you will, over the last 100 years for being very flowery in his writing. He wrote the famous introduction in the Peanuts cartoon series where Snoopy was writing a novel, and he said it was a dark and stormy night. And Edward Bulwer-Lytton actually wrote those words, and I can't think of the name of the novel now. I think it's Paul Clifford. So if you go to Gutenberg.org, I think it is, and look up Paul Clifford, the very first sentence you will see is in there, it was a dark and stormy night. And I do want to read that someday. Okay, and then we have my oldest book, Ups and Downs by Cousin Cicely. Now this book is not in very good condition. As you can see, there's been a lot of damage to the spine. There is some embellishment. You can't really see it, but around here, and it's mostly just embossing. It looks like at one time it was gold, or it is gold, and I forgot what they call that now. I don't know why that's slipping my mind. But there's gold leaf around the edges. And it has a really bright yellow with an dedication or whatever, that insignia. I don't know what they call that. It's a signature. It says Sarah B. Goddard, North Gransby, Connecticut. It does have some foxing. And here is, 1855. So this is the oldest book I have, Ups and Downs, or the Silver Lake Sketches by Cousin Cicely. And it has a lot of, there is the picture, frontispiece, and there is the date in the publisher's page. All right, so I have one more to go, and I don't know, this one does have some, actually, when you get towards towards the middle of this book, the pages are still, even though there are foxing, they're still quite white. So, and that is due probably to the gold edging that's around there. That helps to protect the pages from dust and stuff. I know you probably think, how is dust going to get in between there? But it does. And that gold edging seems to help that. And you still got quite white pages. These other two books, I'm not sure of their age, but there are two that are in like a set. The one is in bad condition. It is leather back here on the back, and this is kind of falling apart here. This one here looks real good. So these are two books, Romola and Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. I just thought they were really neat, and that's why I picked them up. I think I got them on eBay. The actual covers are, boy, I don't know what it is. It's like laminate, like vinyl almost. It's very weird. It's very smooth. It's not cloth. It's got, like I say, it's the leather from this and back. But I don't know what that is, but you can see, look at the book edges there on the paper. It's all like marbled. Very, very exquisite. These were probably expensive when they were first. Here's the end papers. That's that smooth stuff that's on the front, on the end papers. And this, unfortunately, they do have a frontispiece. You can see there. I'm looking at the Daniel Deronda one, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry, no, Romola, forgive me. But as you can see, this is Garrettson, Cox and Company, 393 Pearl Street, New York. And I might be able to find something, sometimes you can find on Google some of these publishers and who might, or what would be the approximate date range. I did not do that. But I know some people have found some things like that. But I was going to see if there was any illustrations. It looks like in the middle here there are a few. So, picture of a man called Savonarola, and that's the only one I see. It looks like I have no idea why he's important. And the Daniel Deronda book is kind of the same, and I'll just show you the frontispiece on that because you might find it interesting. It says Gwendolyn at the gaming table. That's really an intricate picture there. Very cool. So that is those are the oldest books in my library, and there are a few more pictures in this one. And I'm losing part of the cover off here. It's actually coming off. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the 5, 6, or 7, or 8 oldest books in my library. And check out Jess's channel, which is Tin Pan Alley 101. I'm sure a lot of you subscribe to her, but if you don't, you need to. You will enjoy her channel. Thank you. Bye.